Jeff Goodbar, I'm a salesman at the sales center, and I'm number 3. And so, actually, I had an owner who had bought from me and got a parking ticket, and he asked me if I could do anything, and I was like, yeah, send it to me, I'll take care of it. It was $20, I was like, no big deal. And it turns out we already do that. We already pay for it. So I was getting ready to pay for it and found out that we already do it. So there you go.
Great, thank you.
My name is Brett Stong. I'm a sales broker on Main Street as well.
Mauricio Menezes, Grand Timber Lodge from Gas.
Mackenzie Voorhees, Night Audit, Grand Timber.
Tiffany, sales front desk, and Patagonia has really good customer service. So take your jacket back, repair it free, replace it, or give you a gift card. Liliana Brown, in-house sales.
Chris Lang, OPC.
Trevor Morley, Outbound Call Center.
Ralph Moniger, sales at Grand Lodge. And the owner recently came out and update, wasn't real happy with their exchanges, and introduced them to the new points program, made sense to them, they upgraded. Worked with Sandra from II, did a phenomenal job. Not only did she get them booked back in at Grand Lodge, but they had enough points left over to be able to go to Whistler and ski for 5 days. Very ecstatic, and then about a week later, I got a whole bunch of referrals in the mail, so great system.
Great, love hearing that, thank you. Is this somebody's radio, because it's going off? Okay.
Hillary, Chief Human Resources. Tammy Gibbs, Goldwood Housekeeping Manager.
Jim Batalon, Gold Point Resident Manager.
Dale Holland, Projects Manager. My best customer service experience, believe it or not, was from my doctor. And I'm at my doctor, who's a specialist, and I had some blood work done, and it was probably about 2 or 3 months ago. And right after I had the blood work, maybe a week, I got a phone call from their front office, and they told me they'd received the blood work and that the doctor would be giving me a call. And I'm like, really? So sure enough, out of the wild blue, my doctor calls me, went over the whole thing with me, asked me about the snow up here. We had a really cool conversation, and I'm like, I hung up and I was just totally blown away. It's like, really? My doctor called me. Cool.
That is pretty awesome. Doesn't happen too often, right?
Sharon Gardner, OSP at Grand Timber Lodge.
Isabel Córdoba, Grand Timber Lodge, housekeeping.
Evelyn Sierra, housekeeping inspector in Grand Timber. Teresa Avila, house inspector from Grand Timber Lodge. All the time I try to help with guests with move, because the guests sometimes confused with what is the building 7, that is the building 6, and I try to help, and the guests very, very happy with that.
Great, thank you.
Mila, Contracts.
Grant Vegas Contracts.
Talia McDougall, massage therapist at Day Spa.
Stu Sood, massage trainer, and I'm continually impressed with Dr. Warner's customer service. Anytime he doesn't do anything, he calls you back, checks up on you. Just works out great.
Absolutely.
Marta Zaska, I work at Grand Lodge on Consent Concierge.
Mike Gleason, Night Out Virtual Lodge.
Karen Rothrock, Marketing, Owner Jones. Melissa Hoffman, Outbound Marketing.
Great. Did I miss anybody? Anybody want to leave? No? Okay. Well, thanks for that, you guys. I hope as we heard some of those best customer service experiences, you guys were thinking about closing the loop, and how those are some great examples of, you know, problem solving and taking good care of our owners and guests, and really closing the loop, making sure that the vacation experience is fantastic, or as a customer, we were taking care of ourselves. Our customers are why we do what we do, right? They're the reason we're all here this morning. They're the reason we'll be back at work tomorrow, unless it's our day off. Our customers don't just deserve, but expect the very best from us. And this video, which Chris is going to cue, called Customer is King, is kind of a little bit of insight into how some of our customers might actually think. Will you go to the full screen too?
I am my car. I am my clothes. clothes. I am my bank account. I am my house. I obey my trust. I have it my way. I just do it. I deserve a break today. I double my pleasure, double my fun. I live the high life because I'm worth it. I'm looking out for number one. I wait for nothing. I have a million choices. I get what I want. I do what's best for me. I spend my time where I want to spend it. No one wastes it but me. I have the world at my fingertips. If it doesn't work, I'll throw it out and get a new one. If I'm uncomfortable, I leave. There's another place just down the street. If I'm unhappy, I'm missing something. I find it. I buy it. If I want it, I get it. I accumulate. I collect. I acquire. I take. I use. I devour. I consume. I am not the center of the universe, but I'm the center of mine. I want to know what's in it for me. I want to know what I get out of it. I'm here to find happiness. I live for comfort. I exist to be served. The world exists to serve me. I am the customer. The customer is king. I am king.
So what I really like about that video, and the thing that strikes me the most, the lesson to be learned, is that when the guy says, if I'm uncomfortable, I leave, there's another place just right down the street. You know, our owners and guests, if we can't provide them with the vacation experience that they want, if we don't really wow them, they're gonna go somewhere else, and we don't want that. We wanna build customer loyalty. We want our owners and our guests using word of mouth to refer Breckenridge Grand Vacations. Who can tell me what you think our owners and guests really want? Nobody knows?
I think they want ease. You know, they
Ease.
don't want stress. They
Yeah.
don't want
It shouldn't be
time
hard,
wasted.
right?
Yeah.
It should be easy to go on vacation. Yeah, great. What else? I heard
Memories.
they want memories, definitely. Yeah, they want a memorable experience. They want memories with their friends and their family. Great. So, you know, they want an experience from us. They're coming here to experience Breckenridge. They bought because they want to come back to Breckenridge. There's something about Breckenridge that keeps drawing them in, and it's our job every time they come back to wow them even more than we did last time, because that's how we build customer loyalty. You know, a couple years ago, we really got on the Net Promoter train, if you will. We started chanting the mantra of Net Promoter Score, and we've presented it in a lot of different ways at GVS, over email. And it all started with this book, The Ultimate Question, or as I like to affectionately refer to it, NPS 1.0. And who can tell me what the ultimate question actually is? Yes, how likely are you to refer your friends and family? That's just another way of measuring customer loyalty, right? Did we treat you well enough that we have earned your loyalty to the extent that you're gonna go tell your friends and family to do business with Breckenridge Grand Vacations? Just to refresh everybody's memory, this is how we calculate our Net Promoter Score. When we ask the ultimate question, how likely are you to refer a friend or family member to our company? Anyone who gives us a 9 or a 10 is considered a promoter. They're an evangelist. They're gonna go out and tell people to come check out what we offer here in Breckenridge. If somebody gives us a 7 or an 8, they might actually be satisfied because they're a passive, but they're not gonna go out and promote our company, right? They're happy, but we didn't really wow them and we didn't earn their loyalty enough to make them feel compelled to go tell people to do business with us. And then a 6 or below is a detractor. Not only are these people not gonna go and promote our company, they're gonna do the exact opposite. They're gonna go tell as many people as they can, stay away, don't do business with them. So how we calculate Net Promoter Score is we take our percentage of promoters minus our percentage of detractors, and that equals the Net Promoter Score. I talked a little bit about chanting mantras, and our company has, you know, time and time again presented a different way of presenting the same message. Net Promoter is something that we've been doing for a long time. Closing the loop is something that we've been doing for a long time. We've called it a few different things. Moments of magic, moments of truth. What are those really? Those are moments where if we step up and do the right thing, we're ultimately gonna close the loop on an issue for an owner or guest, we're gonna wow them, and we're going to earn their loyalty. JDI, just do it. We empower everybody in our company to do whatever they need to do to create a great vacation on behalf of an owner or guest. That's closing the loop. That's saying you have the ability to take care of that guest and do whatever needs to be done to make sure that they have a great vacation. ED, our economic driver. This is how we measure our profitability as a company. And hopefully all of you know that this usually means we get a bonus, although it's never guaranteed. Net Promoter drives Ed. Just like saying we are the best in sales because we're the best in service. If we close the loop, create great vacations, then our NPS goes up, and as a result, the profit comes in, and then we get an Ed bonus. So it's all tied into that. So this is not a new concept. It's something that we've been doing for many years, and these are a few of the different ways that we've communicated closing the loop and building customer loyalty. And now we're calling it that instead of some of these things. Our passion statement, which has been around for, I honestly don't know how long, but I've been around for 12 years, and it was definitely around before me, so it's been around for a really long time. This is another way of saying closing the loop, building customer loyalty. We have a passion statement. Our family commitment, always great vacations. And we've come up with our 5 hospitality standards to help us achieve that. This is just another way of saying we're a company that believes in closing the loop and creating great vacations. So what is our NPS score? Well, as it turns out, we have 4 of them. For a long time after we read the first NPS book, we talked a lot about NPS, and typically the conversation would go something like this. What's your NPS at GL7, Kimberly? Which one? And so we realized we needed a better way to define the 4 different NPSs that we have. Our owner net promoter score, or ONPS, is measured through what we call our owner barometer. We send it out once a year to all of our owners, and I'm really pleased to share with all of you that we've actually spent some time over the past year redefining that survey, and we're about to launch a new version of it. And basically it's going to be sent out to each owner on the anniversary of their original purchase date with Breckenridge Grand Vacations. We're going to say happy 10-year anniversary of being a Breckenridge Grand Vacations owner. We'd love to hear what you think about your ownership. We've taken it from being, I think it was like over 40 or 50 questions to less than 20 questions. And those questions are really dialed in to give us the feedback that we want to hear. And so that'll be going out soon. And we're also rolling out what we call our closed loop tracker along with that. So we're going to have a way for anyone who's responding to these owner barometers to go in and note what's happening with the response that they're providing, if they're in touch with the owner and going back and forth, or if they've closed the loop and resolved the issue. And then we'll be able to report on that so we can do a better job of measuring our success when it comes to closing the loop. And the question that we ask on the owner barometer, as far as the ultimate question, is how likely are you to refer your friends and family to own at Breckenridge Grand Vacations? Our eNPS, or Employee Net Promoter Score, is measured through our employee barometer. In NPS 2.0, which is the most recent NPS book that we're going to talk about a little bit more, we learned that surveying our employees, all of you, just once a year, which is what we've always done, isn't enough. We need to be doing at least quarterly barometer surveys with our staff. And so in the second quarter, hopefully most of you took the job satisfaction employee barometer. In the third quarter, you took an IT-related employee barometer. And the upcoming ones are going to be for accounting and HR. And the feedback that you provide gives the leadership team the opportunity to close the loop on the suggestions and recommendations that you guys give to us. So we appreciate that. The question that we ask on the employee barometer, as far as the ultimate question, is how likely are you to refer employment with Breckenridge Grand Vacations? Our TMPS, or Tour Promoter Score, is a score that we receive from everyone who came and took a timeshare tour or a preview tour. And the question that we ask there is how likely are you to refer a friend or family member to take a preview tour of our property? If there's something that we could do better in the preview tour experience, we want to know about it. And those comments help us to learn what some of those suggestions are so that we can close the loop. And then last but not least, we have our guest net promoter score. After each stay at all of our properties, we send out what we call a post-stay survey. And that survey provides us with a tremendous amount of verbiage or commentary from owners, guests, and owners, exchange guests, and rental guests as to their most recent stay, and what we were really great at and what could have been better, and we use that feedback to close the loop. The ultimate question we ask on that survey is how likely are you to refer a friend or family member to a vacation at such and such property? So MPS 1.0, the first book, was all about Net Promoter Score. And that's what we've been talking to you guys about, the score, the score, the score. As general manager of Grand Lodge and Peak 7 for year and a half to 2 years, I pretty much lived Friday to Friday. Every Friday morning I would wake up and I would open my email to see what our NPS score, or GNPS score, from the past week was for Grand Lodge and Peak 7. So I was constantly looking over my shoulder at the week that had just happened, which really isn't forethinking if you think about it. So in NPS 2.0, we learned that it's not really about the score. The score is just the result of what we do with the feedback that we receive. It's the result of the behaviors. And so NPS 2.0 talks much more about Net Promoter System, and that it's a cultural shift. It's a systematic approach to receiving feedback and using that feedback to close the loop. When we do that, the score changes. The score shifts. Hopefully, it shifts in a positive direction and it increases. But a lot of companies that were interviewed for NPS 2.0 talked about how initially, when they became an NPS company, like BGV, they just got obsessed with the score and they got married to it. It was what they really focused on. And it wasn't as important as the actual feedback that they were getting. And so when we make this systematic shift and we look at the feedback and we don't worry so much about the score, because we don't need to, right? If we're always closing the loop, if we're always creating great vacations, the score will be positive. And so a lot of companies say, I learned this valuable lesson, and Breckenridge Grand Vacations has learned the exact same lesson, that we need to use the feedback first and worry about the score after the fact. So in NPS 1.0, our approach was to personally respond to all feedback from detractors. So, thank you so much for completing our survey. We really appreciate your feedback. It helps us improve, and we'll do better next time. Can't wait to see you in Breckenridge again. Love, BGV. And we thought that was closing the loop. Hey, they heard from us, right? We said thanks for the feedback, and we said we'll do better next time. Don't worry about it. We'll see you again. NPS 2.0, we learned there's a much better way. Closing the loop is about solving problems, very simply. That's what it is, right? It's doing whatever we need to do to create a great vacation for our owners and guests. And then we get to communicate what we did as part of closing the loop. So not just we'll do better next time, but we got your feedback, here's what we did about it, now we're looking forward to seeing you again, because you're not going to have that problem again. We fixed it, we solved it, we closed that loop. We recognize as a company that some of the challenges that we're presented with in our business, we can't eliminate. We can't completely close the loop on it. So in those situations where we can't eliminate the problem, that's when we need to make our focus, how can we alleviate the problem? What can we do to improve? How can we make it better? Jenny has a great way of seeing it. How can we ease the pain, right? And so this example is from Grand Lodge and Peak 7. And basically, the rooms were extremely hot. We had a TripAdvisor that pretty much pushed me over the edge and made me want to solve the problem and close the loop. And it started with, we hated this hotel, and it ended with, we're leaving early and we're going to a Marriott in Denver. I could not believe that these people felt this way about our beautiful resort up on Peak 7. I took it so to heart and said, we need to do something about this. So we put together a task force. We looked at a lot of different solutions. A lot of them didn't work. We finally found one that did. There's a few people in this room that played a big part in that. And lo and behold, we installed air conditioning at Grand Lodge on Peak 7. It was 8 weeks of total organized chaos. It wasn't easy. It cost $2 million. But at the end of the day, our GNPS went up from 56 in July of 2012 to 64 in July of 2013. That's eliminating the issue. That's closing the loop. And our numbers show it. An example of alleviating a problem and closing the loop through alleviating was we heard from a lot of our tour guests that they wanted to stay at Grand Lodge on Peak 7, or back in the day it was Grand Timber Lodge. You know, they always wanted to stay where they were previewing. And they didn't understand why they had to stay at the Breck Inn. And not only that, but the Breck Inn was number 43 on TripAdvisor. So we decided that while we couldn't, due to occupancy numbers and not having availability, we couldn't put all of our tours at Grand Timber or at Grand Lodge. We decided that we could certainly take the feedback we received, comments like, don't use Breck Inn, stuff's broken, I would never have paid to stay at this place, a poor motel, and we said we have to do something about this. So we went ahead and we invested quite a bit of money to remodel the Breck Inn. We made some significant staffing changes, and we put more Reese's at the Breck Inn doorstep. As a result, our tour Net Promoter Score increased, and we went from number 43 on TripAdvisor to number 6, and that is fantastic. So there again, our guests aren't staying at Grand Timber or Grand Lodge. We couldn't do that for them. All we could do was alleviate it by making sure that the Breck Inn would provide a great vacation experience. I don't know if anybody's ever heard this Henry Ford quote, but Henry Ford once said, if I asked my customers what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse. So, you know, here's a great example of they wanted to stay at Grand Lodge. Well, we couldn't do that, but we found a better way. We made the Breck Inn one of the best vacation experiences in Breckenridge. Those are some examples where we put in a significant investment to close the loop. There's a lot of examples in our company where we didn't really even spend any money, and we were able to close the loop through eliminating or alleviating the issue. Can somebody give me some examples within your own department where you've seen this?
Well, if it's a different, 5-10 rule. I mean, the fact of us just talking to people kind of didn't happen to close the loop.
Yeah, the 10-5 rule, I love that. Within 10 feet, you know, nonverbal acknowledgement of a guest, within 5 feet, we're the first one to say, hi, and how is your stay going? And then what happens? Sometimes we hear feedback, you know, it's good, but there's this one thing, and then we get to close the loop on that. Absolutely, thank you. How about for employees, our medallion system? It was so difficult, right, in the past to reserve a medallion, and then our fantastic HR department, bless you, came up with the MIO system, right, and alleviated all of the pain that was associated with getting a medallion. How about another one?
Rental stays, providing a daily service.
Yeah,
you know, that
absolutely.
was a big thing before. Oh, well, we paid money, we didn't have anybody come into the room, and so we have daily service provided for guests that are paying a nightly rate.
Yeah, I love that one. In fact, I love that one so much because we actually make money on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we figured out what it cost us to go in and make somebody's bed and take out their trash every day as a rental guest. We built it into the price of the nightly rental just like a hotel does. We closed the loop because now our rental guests have their bed made every day, which is what they wanted, and we have a 25% profit margin built into that. So that one's a double win. Great, thank you for those examples. Okay, so we close the loop. That's what Breckenridge Grand Vacations does. That's what good companies who want to be great companies, that's what they do. The best part is we get to go back to the customer and then tell them the good news, right? We're not saying, sorry you had a crappy stay, we'll do better next time. We're going back and saying, we're so sorry about your stay. Here's what we did to fix it. Come back and see us. Who can tell me the story of the bug letter? Joanna, you're just, you know,
a woman, I do. A woman found a bug in her cereal from a large company, and she was really upset. She wrote a letter to the company explaining the situation, and she received a letter back from the company a short while later explaining, and they were like, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, we want to provide you with quality cereal, you know, we'll provide you with cereal for this amount of time for the rest of the year. She was like, oh, that's really awesome, and then she went to put the letter back in the envelope, and inside the envelope she found a sticky note that says, send bug letter.
Right, so here's this woman who found a bug in her cereal, spent the time to complain to the company, wrote a letter and said, I can't believe this happened, it was so gross, you need to know about this. She got a personalized letter from the president of the company saying, we're so sorry, and we can't believe that happened, and, you know, apologizing, and she felt really special. And then she finds a sticky note that says send the bug letter, and immediately what happened? First of all, that company no longer had her loyalty, right? She was no longer going to be a loyal customer of the cereal company. In addition, they let her know this was a known issue, and they weren't planning to fix it. They just kept sending the same old letter. And that's not what we want to do at Breckenridge Grand Vacations. That's not closing the loop. So, going back to the example of the heat issue at GL7, when I started up at Grand Peak 7, this was the standard response we would send to anyone who complained about the heat during their stay. Basically, we said, we're so sorry that you experienced heat in your room. Our resort is built really close to the sun, and the sunshine comes through the windows, and it gets trapped in the room, and it makes the room really hot, which is called passive solar gain. We recognize that this is a problem, and so on your next visit, if you're hot, let us know, and we'd be happy to help you come open your windows. Powerful stuff, right? Once we decided to close the loop and install air conditioning, we got to send out this response. I'm sorry, I keep looking at this screen. It's over here. Which basically said, we recognize that our resort is hot and we're sorry about that. We decided to install air conditioning because we're Breckenridge Grand Vacations and we do the right thing, and we believe this is the right thing to do. So we're looking forward to your next day, and hopefully you're going to enjoy it a lot more because we've solved the problem. That's closing the loop. And let's not forget about closing the loop when the owner or guest is still here with us. Maybe they're on the phone and they're planning a trip. Maybe they're on property halfway through their visit. When we get survey feedback, the unfortunate part is that it's after the fact, right? We don't really get to close the loop for them right then and there. They have to give us a second try and come back and see if we really fixed it. So it's very important when we're interacting with our owners and guests, and we have an opportunity to say, are you enjoying your ownership? Is there anything more we can do to create a great vacation for you? And if they give us some feedback, we need to close the loop with that feedback, you guys. We need to find out what it is they want us to do, and then we need to figure out a way to see if we can make that happen. So survey feedback's great, we learn from it, we close the loop with a lot of that feedback, but there's nothing better than instant gratification for our owners and guests, and that comes from us asking those kinds of questions. Breckenridge Grand Vacations didn't come up with Net Promoter. We didn't invent closing the loop. We've been doing it for a long time, and we're actually pretty darn good at it. But there's a lot of other companies out there who are also embracing this. And again, these are the companies that they don't want to just be good. They want to be great companies, just like Breckenridge Grand Vacations. So Chris, if you'll play the Virgin Media video and go to full screen, I'd appreciate it. This guy's the customer experience director for Virgin Media.
The closed loop process for me has been fascinating. In the first two surveys, so you're instantly hit with all of this information. Customers saying good things about you, lots of verbatim. People saying bad things about you, lots of verbatim. And we took all of that and we kind of turned internally towards our own teams, and we looked at action plans and how can we fix this and what should we change and what should we do. And that was all great, but the one person we weren't telling in all of this process was the customer. We weren't acknowledging that feedback, we weren't thanking them for the feedback, we were just getting on with it. And as you know, if you've got a problem with an organisation as a consumer, if you report a problem and give feedback, fill in a survey, to hear nothing is just really, it's insulting, isn't it? It's insulting. So we've really changed that. So 9 months into the programme, we've got a survey going out right now. It's our 7th wave of surveys. For every detractor comment we get back, we will give them a phone call from a professional customer service agent within 24 hours of getting that feedback. And the purpose of that call is to say thank you for taking the time. It's also to say sorry, because we've obviously let you down, you've had a bad experience, you're unhappy, you've told us that. And thirdly, I'm going to own this for you, take it back to our business, and come back to you what we're actually doing about it. And customers have really liked the fact that we're taking them seriously, we've got interest and we're fixing stuff. That's really important. But the big wow factor for customers is that they've gone from a simple 3-minute task of, a survey, Virgin Media Business, not happy, hello. And that is actually really, really powerful. Not just a reply, not just a thanks for your feedback, hello, I'm really sorry, genuinely, how can we help you? And that has really, really shifted our customer engagement because people talk, the industry talks, and I think that's been really, really powerful.
So the lesson that I take from that video is how much more effective it can be to pick up the phone and call in response to the feedback that we're getting than to just send an email. And there's certainly some surveys where an email is going to be the better vehicle of communication for the response. But at Breckenridge Grand Vacations, we're family. We want to treat our owners and guests like part of that family. We prefer first names to brand names. Picking up the phone, building the relationship, talking to someone, and finding out not just what they shared with us on their survey, but maybe there's some more, right? When we start talking, things come up, and we learn even more about what we could do better. So if you're someone in this room who has the responsibility of responding to some of these surveys, I hope that you'll give picking up the phone and calling a little bit more of a try. Maybe not with every single one, but just pick up the phone sometimes and call these people and thank them and talk to them about it and see if you're learning even more than you would have if you just replied back over email. The next video we're going to watch is from Sage Software, and this woman is their Director of Customer Loyalty.
And we live and breathe Net Promoter, is the fact that every employee that starts with our company starts off with orientation about loyalty, what is Net Promoter, and how they can play an important role within our organizational goal. Because Net Promoter truly is an organizational goal for us. And it is essential that every one of our employees focuses on loyalty as much as any other component of their day-to-day job. And we started contacting all of our detractors. So the reason we did that is because if you look at our discovery team, we're able to actually move over 21% of our detractors into promoters, 56% of detractors into passives, and 23% of passives into evangelists. So just by doing the simple act of picking up the phone and listening to our customers, we're able to move 44% of our customers contacted into evangelists. That's huge.
Sage has realized the following result.
So the lesson I get out of that video and why I wanted to show that is I love what she says about building customer loyalty or closing the loop. It's not just part of what we do, it's what we're always doing. It's why we're here. It's the primary function of our jobs is to make sure that our customers, whoever they might be, sometimes the employees are the customers for departments like IT. Sometimes our owners are our customers, our guests are our customers. But making sure that their loyalty is our primary focus. Can we go to the slideshow, please? The good news is that Breckenridge Grand Vacations is actually really good at closing the loop. We've been doing it for a while, and we have. That's okay. We have some information from ARDA. Some of you have probably seen this before. But ARDA asked timeshare owners to answer the ultimate question: how likely are you to refer your friend or family to owning a timeshare? And the industry average came back at 5. Grand Lodge on Peak 7, our ONPS is 40, and Grand Timber Lodge, our ONPS is 38. So that right there says we're pretty good at this already. We have a couple other successes. I know this is a little hard to see, so I'll just summarize it for you. Going back to July 2009, we had 66% of our GNPS surveys from all properties. Those were promoters, and 13% were detractors. Fast forward 4 years to July of 2013, we moved that needle 8 percentage points, going from 66% promoters to 74% promoters, and taking our detractors down from 13% to just 7%. And 2013 is our best year of sales on record, And so I think that we can see the correlation of happy owners and guests, or being the best in service, drives our sales, or our ad bonus. Also, another all-property GMPS success, this past June of 2012 for all properties was our best June ever on record, with an NPS of 70 compared to the second best June on record at 65. And we had our best July ever on record at 65 compared to the second best June or July ever at 60. So, you know, we're trending in the right direction. We're closing the loop, and we're good at this. We just want to be even better. We want to take that to the next level, and that's NPS 2.0. I also think it's important when we talk about, you know, building customer loyalty and interacting with our owners and guests to find out what more we could do to close the loop for them, that we have fun while doing it. That's been a mantra in our company for a very long time, is to have fun with the work that you do. And I thought we'd end today with a video of a Southwest Airlines employee who I think does a fantastic job of building the customer loyalty that Southwest is known for. So check it out.
For Southwest Airlines Flight 372, service to Oklahoma City. Those of you that have flown us before know that we do things a little bit differently here on Southwest. Some of us tell jokes, some of us sing, some of us just stand there and look beautiful. I, unfortunately, can do none of those. So here's the one thing that I do know how to do. We're going to shake things up a little bit. I need a little audience participation. Otherwise, this is not going to go over well at all. So here's what I need, especially you guys in the front, because you know what's coming. All right, I need a beat. All right. All I need you to do is stomp and clap, and I'm going to do the rest, because I've had 5 flights today, and I just cannot do the regular boring announcement again. Otherwise, I'm going to put myself to sleep. So, you guys with me? All right. So, it's going to be a stomp, clap, stomp, clap. Come on, stomp, clap, stomp, clap. It won't be there. There you go. Keep that going. This is Flight 372 on SWA. The flight attendants on board serving you today. Teresa in the middle, David in the back. My name is David, and I'm here to tell you that shortly after takeoff, first things first, there's soft drinks and coffee to quench your thirst. If you want another kind of drink, then just holler. Alcoholic beverages will be $4. If a Monster energy drink is your plan, that'll be $3, and you get the whole can. We won't take your cash, you gotta pay with plastic. If you have a coupon, then that's fantastic. We know you're ready to get to new places. Open up the bin, put away your suitcases. Carry on items, go under the seat in front of you, so none of you have things by your feet. If you have a seat on the road with the exit, we're going to talk to you, so you might as well expect it. You gotta help evacuate in case we need you. If you don't want to, then we're going to reseat you before we leave. All right, devices, put away your electronic devices. Fasten your seatbelt, then put your trays up. Press the button to make the seat back raise up. Sit back, relax, have a good time. It's almost time to go, so I'm done with the rhyme. Thank you for the fact that I wasn't ignored. This is Southwest Airlines. Welcome aboard.
Thank you guys for listening.
That guy was cool, man.